Hello friends, this is a special video I put together that's like a support document for my book 6 Nights on the Hook at Santa Cruz Island. I want to start out by thanking everyone who ordered copies of the book so far. I'm pretty happy with the response. I've sold like 50 copies as of the time that I upload this video, and that's just promoting through Instagram and YouTube, so thanks everybody that ordered them. I put this video together. It's a collection of every episode from season 2 that relates to the book in one place. So it's a long form video. It's like 2 hours long or something crazy. So it's not a regular episode. I am putting like time links in the description down below that relate to each chapter. So if you're reading the book and you're on chapter 4, you can easily go to the video and like click the link down below and it'll take you to that part. So you don't have to scroll through like a 2-hour video to try to find the different pieces. So I did a little bit of editing on the episodes. I kind of trimmed some fat from stuff that didn't need to be in there. I added a little bit of footage. That's stuff I talk about in the book that wasn't in the original episodes. And I updated all the new music because I found a better resource for like royalty-free music online since that original season. So without further ado, here's an absurdly long video, which, like I said, is just a collection of all of the episodes from season 2 that relate to this book. If you'd like to order a copy, you can get it on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. And we actually have a little shop where you can order it. The link will be down below for a short time. Once we go cruising, I'm not sure I'll be able to keep up with that. So instead of having orders like pending for long weeks at a time, if we're out of cell service or out of like, you know, internet access, we'll probably shut that shop down when we leave for full-time cruising. So, but it'll always be available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and different places. So you can order a copy through there. And if you don't know what the book's all about, I'll put a card at the top right now and a link down below that is an introduction to the book, which is another video we did recently, and that tells you about the book. But this video here, support document for 6 Nights on the Hook at Santa Cruz Island. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Hello friends. Getting ready to push off for the Channel Islands. I'm going to be gone for 8 days or something. 9, I guess, including today. And still have to go get diesel fuel in my jerry cans. I got the tank topped off. And the provisioning's done. Just a couple odds and ends to tighten up and push off. I'm pretty close to being on schedule. You know, always run a little bit behind. But I'm going to be motor sailing through the night tonight. So I can make my first anchorage in Santa Cruz Island, Coches, Prietos. I think that's how you say it. I have no idea. It means dark pig, apparently. Tomorrow afternoon. So first big solo trip, first big solo passage. It's just like 77 miles. So yeah, it's like 5 knots of wind out there right now. So, and I'll be motoring into it, so it works in my favor, really. So yeah, gotta get all this stuff done and get out to sea. Filling up my jerry cans for my passage to the Channel Islands. I have 20 gallons extra fuel. My tank's full. So between that and the wind, it'll get me back. The water lift strikes again. It loves attention.
Do you want to say why you're doing that?
The packing nut is leaking. I'm trying to leave for my trip. It's proving very difficult, and I need a Phillips hand screwdriver, please. Finally got out of the slip, cruising through the harbor, heading for Angels Gate Lighthouse, turn and head for Santa Cruz Island. Looking forward to a week of being on the hook and exploring anchorages and being away from it all. So I'll be updating you guys through the night. We'll see how everything goes. My packing nut was leaking. It's what forced me to get a late start, and I got it tightened. It's still leaking a bit. When Marina Del Rey's on my beam, which will be several hours from now, I'm gonna like keep an eye on it, and if I'm uncomfortable with it, I'll pull into Marina Del Rey and repack it in the morning and then head out from there. But hopefully it'll be fine. We'll see. So here we go, into the sunset. Made it through my first solo night watch passage. Creeping on towards Santa Cruz Island. I'll be there about midday or so. Pretty rolly night, not much wind. Had the main up just to stabilize the boat mostly. But yeah, hammered into the swell and very tired, but soon it'll be easier days of, you know, just hopping around the island. So San Nicolas Island in the distance. It's chilly out. Really pretty sunrise though. Had some dolphins lazily playing with the boat. Sunrise watches are always the best. Really remarkable to have like all of this to yourself. island. And there's Santa Cruz, where I'll be anchoring tonight. Looks close, but it's still gonna be a while. I'm about half an hour away from my anchorage. It's almost 2:30 right now p.m. I left yesterday at 4:30, so it's been a long day. I can finally identify the landmass for sure. The anchorage, Coches, Prietos, is just on the other side of it. I can see some sailboats tied up, or anchored rather, in Albert's Cove. I think that's the name. I did my first ever drone flight off the boat, which I was really scared about doing. Went great, flew around, you know, saw amazing sights, landed it, very nerve-wracking and scary, and realized I hadn't recorded anything. So what are you gonna do? At least I got the first one over with. But I'll include the footage of me taking off on it after this little clip. So yeah, about to come in, drop the hook, and make some food, and probably sleep for like 10 hours. Beautiful island, I'll show you guys that right now. First drone flight from the boat. Hope this goes well. Well, I didn't lose it in the sea. The bummer is, I forgot to hit record. So, well, at least that's over with. Now on to the anchorage. So here it is. I have it all to myself. Gotta get in now and drop the hook and get the show on the road. Well, I made it to my Anchorage. It took me like 23 hours to get here. Quite a long trip for my first solo overnight passage. But I have this beautiful Anchorage all to myself. And Fagan in his book said it's maybe the best anchorage in Santa Cruz. So, pretty excited. I'm anchored in 27 feet of water. I have like 5 scope out, and yeah, it's lovely here. It's actually really warm now. So I'm gonna relax for a while. Pretty tired. Make some food, and probably go ashore tonight. I think there's some no trespassing signs, but I can go on the beach and look around. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm excited for the next like 7 or 8 days. Explore as many anchorages as I can. So here we are. Coches Prietos, the dark pig. Beautiful sunset. Have the anchorage all to myself, which is exactly what I wanted. The anchorage is pretty rolly. I put out a flopper stopper that my friend Neil let me borrow, which seems to help. I just want to show you guys, I anchored behind this kelp bed here to help prevent some of the roll. Doesn't eliminate everything, but it helps a little. Good morning. It's December 24th, 2017, Christmas Eve. I'm sitting under anchor at Coches Prietos Anchorage on Santa Cruz Island, the Channel Islands, here in California. I went to sleep at like 5:30 last night because I was so beat up from the long passage, and slept till like 5 o'clock this morning, so I slept almost 12 hours. I woke up once at 1 a.m., popped my head out, looked around, made sure everything was cool, and again at 4 a.m. The stars were unbelievable, as they are when you get away from the city. I had my anchor alarm on that never went off, so I just woke up and checked. But yeah, full solid night's sleep. The anchorage is pretty rolly. But my buddy Neil lent me a flopper stopper, which is like a series of kind of rings that dampens the roll. You put it on your boom, you swing your boom out, put a preventer on, and it slows the roll. I'm sure that made my sleep much better than it would have been otherwise. But it was nice waking up at 5, got some coffee going, got some breakfast, and was able to enjoy the sunrise, which was absolutely mind-blowing. I made a little time-lapse of it. We'll see. It might be real dizzying because, the anchorage is so rolly. But yeah, really beautiful. And I'm here all alone. And that's what I've always wanted. People have asked me before, how did I get into sailing? And the first time I remember being like interested in learning how to sail and getting a boat, it was on a camping trip, and all the campgrounds, at least here in California, unless you hike deep into them, are full of people, really, and usually obnoxious people. and I was at some incredible campsite somewhere, maybe Big Sur, and there were just loud people everywhere playing loud music, and I was so bummed. And I was like, I want to get a boat and sail out somewhere. That way I can wake up and have coffee in complete silence and the beauty of nature. And finally, I got that this morning. The next anchorage over is, I think it's called Albert Anchorage or something. Let me see. This is like my Bible for this whole trip. Just like, it's Fagan's book, Cruising Guide to Southern California's Offshore Islands. This book is unbelievable. I also referenced, I think it's Captain Dan's website. He has a really extensive website, so I'd cross-reference. His is a little less apocalyptic than this. This one, almost every anchorage is like, if there's any wind, you're dead, which is good to be safe, but it seems like every single anchorage, it's like, any sign of anything, run. Albert's Anchorage, and there's 2 vessels anchored over there, and sailing vessels, and they're probably anchored there. Maybe it's less rolly than this one, I'm not sure, but I'm happy that they are, because I got this all to myself, and this is one of the most popular anchorages. I guess in the summer this one's really crowded. But I didn't even bother going ashore because there's signs all along the beach you can see that say, no trespassing. I think this is part of that inland area that the Conservancy doesn't allow people to go on because they're restoring it or whatever. So I just enjoyed the anchorage, and after like mid-morning, I'm gonna pull everything up, pull up the flopper stopper, get the boat ready, and haul up the anchor and head to Morse Point, which is, I think it's like, I don't know, 4 to 7 miles, I can't recall. So yeah, great first night of the trip. Excited to do some slow sailing around the island. Not in a hurry now to get over here. The passage yesterday was something like 70 or 77 nautical miles, I can't recall. Really far. And I motor sailed the whole way. Soon we'll be heading to Morse Point. So that's the next stop on the itinerary. And we'll go from there. So it was the first time I had to pull up my anchor by hand, other than the test anchoring I did. Super bummer. Can't wait to get the correct gypsy for my windlass that I installed. But just took it slow and steady, and every time I got tired I clipped a line on it to hold it, and then went back to it. Everything went good, came up, no problem, got out. I was lucky because it's so calm, and there wasn't a bad swell while I was doing it. So now I'm heading towards, like I said, Morse Point, and there's a small island I got to get around called Gull Island, which I can see in the distance. It's funny, that's 7 nautical miles. It's going to take me a couple hours to get there, but yeah, moving along, getting ready to get to that next anchorage, check it out. And it is glassy out here. but you can see it's a little bit rolly, but man, it's classy. There's beautiful Santa Cruz Island in the background, and everything's good. Several pods of dolphins cruising along with me. That's Gull Island in the distance. Have to give it a wide berth. There's it gets as shallow as like 1 fathom right near it. You can see on the chart. And then just beyond that, turn to starboard, and that's my next anchorage. So there's like 2 different types of dolphins out here. I think one of them are porpoises. I mean, yeah, like harbor porpoises? I don't know, because they have short little fins. Not sure. Maybe they'll come play with us. Coming into Morse Point. I'm gonna creep up next to the rocks and kelp beds and anchor in about 20 feet of water. Gull Island to our stern. Here I am, Morse Point, Anchorage on Santa Cruz Island. It smells amazing right now. So fresh, and the air is just, it's incredible. Really pretty. The sun's about to set. I want to show you guys a little panorama real quick of what I'm looking at. I wish you were all here individually, of course. I have this anchorage all to myself. Some Russians came by in a dive boat, and we talked for a little bit. They were just looking for a spot to dive. They're probably lobster hunting illegally. I think this is a marine sanctuary, but who knows? I don't know. Yeah, I just want to show you what it looks like, because it's really amazing. In the distance, you'll be able to see Santa Rosa Island. I think it's like 10 nautical miles from here. It looks pretty wild right now at sunset, so check it out. can see the breakers there. There's rocks and kelp beds between me and the sea, which is probably helping with this swell. Maybe I'll see the green flash. So I made it to Morse Point, Anchorage. Easy couple hour motor sail. I tried to sail again, not enough wind. What little wind there was, I would have sailed in slowly, but it was, we were heading right into it. So I had the main up, just came in. Had a problem this morning. Preparing to leave, I changed the oil, filled it up all new oil. Like an idiot, I didn't think to buy extra oil. I have extra fuel filters, I have extra impellers, but I don't have an extra oil. So I checked the oil this morning before I get ready to come over here, and it's like there's almost no oil in it. I was like, fuck. And you know, out here, middle of nowhere, no service. I'm not one to give up easily, so I just thought I would get to this Anchorage and see what's happening, and go from there. If I have to, I'll just sail home from here slowly. But on the way over, I started looking through stuff, and I had a quart of magic mystery oil, which I put almost all of it in. I even put some two-stroke oil in, which, you know, it probably isn't the best idea, but at least it's lubricant. So the alarm wasn't going off till right when I started coming in. When I would go to a low idle, it would chirp like every once in a while, and I was like, come on, let's just get in. So now I'm under anchor in 25 feet of water. I have 4-to-1 scope out, and it's a little breezy now, of course, that I'm done sailing. Also, we're kind of coming around this point. So, but I'm anchored behind like a pretty extensive kelp bed and some rocks tucked up in the anchorage, so I think that's going to help with some of the swell. So I got my little sabot off in the water, and depending on if the wind calms down a little, I'll probably row to shore and check it out. But it doesn't matter to me either way. For me, this whole trip and everything's about being on the boat, being in the sea, and the land is a secondary thing. I'm on land all the time. So definitely with my low oil situation, I'm not going to go to Santa Rosa. I planned on going to Santa Rosa tomorrow, which is just across the way. It's like 10 miles or something across the channel. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to round the corner and go to Forney Cove and spend a night there, and then get on the north side of the island. I'm sure I'll see some other boats on the north side of the island. If I see anybody, I'm going to hit them up and see if I can buy some oil from them. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Here I am. Morse Point, my second anchorage of the trip. And I gotta make some food, I'm dying. So I'll show you guys the scenery a little bit later, and maybe do some more drone flights, hopefully not sink it. Making some coffee. Boy, what a rolling night. Maybe I should have put out the flopper stopper after all. It was kind of like this all night. Pretty heavy southwest swell cruising through. So yeah, it was. I was awake on and off a lot last night. I'm not gonna linger, that's for sure. I'm gonna make my way out to Forney's Cove after the sun gets up and I get awake and stuff. Check my oil, see how that situation is, and cruise on. Keep going. This place is really beautiful and massive. Anchorage, really wide, expansive, and it's there's no reference to man whatsoever. So it feels like you could see a dinosaur cruising up over the hill at any minute. It's really really interesting to be somewhere so far flung, but also so close to Los Angeles. So, yep, here we are. Morse Point, the rolly anchorage of Morse Point, Santa Cruz Island, Channel Islands, California. So I wanted to show you guys, this is Open CPN. It's what I'm using for my route planning and everything, and I have my anchor alarm set on it. So yeah, you can set up all your routes. This is free software. It's really great. I'm into it. I just want to show you guys. So here I am, this big open anchorage. This is Gull Island that I've shown you guys some video. You can see it in the distance. I'm up in here behind this kelp bed and this rock, all these rocks, which I thought would be like a really good surge protector, but maybe it wasn't. But I'll zoom in here so you can see the anchor watch. This is like, I have a little GPS puck right here that goes outside. I have a GPS antenna, but I wasn't able to figure out how to get an adapter to use that with my laptop before I left, so I'll have to work that out. But this little puck works good for this. So yeah, it shows like the chaos, you know, of swinging on the hook. And then I got my next little route planned. It says that it's going to be 8 nautical miles. And then each of the little, you know, you put in your waypoints and then it tells you your course. So I'll be cruising around the westernmost point of the island to Forney Cove, which I'm hoping that Forney Cove won't be nearly as rolly because it's a southwest swell, and that should all be blocked or diffused by Santa Rosa Island. So, and then the next day I'll pick up the hook and make my way around the top, head around to the north side of the island, explore over there. So yeah, that's what I'm using. And then on my phone, I'm using iNavX. I'm using iNavX, which is what Digital Yacht says works best with their AIS system, and it's a cool little program. I haven't quite worked out. I don't know that it's as user friendly as Navionics, but I know from everything I've read, it's actually, if you're gonna do world cruising, it's like it has a greater range. You know, coastal cruising, Navionics is great, but iNavX seems to be like more of a powerhouse. More of a powerhouse for world cruising stuff. So yeah, this Anchorage is really rolly. I don't know if you can see it, but it's crazy. Anyway, time to get all my files transferred and get everything ready to disembark. So yeah, 24 feet of water. Lots of weed, a little shake off. Not sure if you can see it because of the reflection. A little sabot. I was gonna go ashore, but there's lots of breakers, and I ain't trying to do that. Here she is, Tritea. first thing in the morning, get her dressed, get out there. So there's that whole string of rocks and everything that if it did protect me from the surge, man oh man, I can't imagine what it would have been like without it. Again, leaving Morse Point, leaving Gull Island towards stern. I'm approaching a minefield of like crab pots or something. There's a fishing boat over there, which I'm sure he's the one that dropped them all. Not a fan of those things, super annoying. But gotta work my way through them and get around. That next point is Coches Arch. Really beautiful beach right there. There's supposed to be an Anchorage just before Forney's Cove called Christie's Valley or something. But it said there's white buildings ashore, and I'm not seeing any buildings, maybe around this other. But that looks really beautiful over there. Saw some dolphins out in the middle of the channel, acting crazy. First I thought it was a whale because they were splashing so much. I thought he was slapping his tail, but it was a big pod of dolphins. That's our destination. Dead ahead. So that's Christie Valley, Anchorage. You can see the white buildings up on the shore, maybe. And Vagin says you just head straight for those if you want to find the Anchorage. It's not very protected, but I guess in Santa Ana conditions, it's a pretty good hiding spot. So we're coming in Forney Cove. There's the rocks, some birds on it. I'm gonna be heading kind of straight in, dropping the hook, about 15 feet of water or something. I want to kind of be midway, I think, between the breakers over there and the shore on the starboard side. We're in 22 feet of water, so we have like 4-to-1 scope. Basically, I just let out all the chain, which is 80 feet, to the rope road, and then tie off the rope road. It's like a really cool arch over there. I'm definitely going ashore here. Gotta go see what's happening. Bunch of birds over there. Yeah, man, this place is cool. Really desolate. The engine did good. No oil alarms went off when I put her into low RPMs and in reverse and everything, so that's good. So yeah, the wind freshened again like 11 o'clock or something. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna get like a later start, try to leave around 11. And I think there's gonna be a lot more wind on this side of the island anyway. But that'd be nice to just sail tomorrow and only motor when I had to. I'm done with this motor sailing business. But it is what it is. So here we are. This is Forney Cove. And we're gonna go ashore later, see what it's all about. So I made it ashore. Got my sabot tied off to this rock right here. You can see Traitea laying at anchor. Beautiful as ever. Now we're gonna go check some stuff out. As soon as I get on the beach, there's island fox footprints everywhere. Let me show you. It's a little fox footprints. Sure hope I get to see some. And I believe they only live here on the Channel Islands. So we'll keep a lookout. Whoa, look at that engine. Must be an old shipwreck. That's all that's left. Wow. That is crazy. You use that as a mooring. Walking across Fraser Point here. This is I think it's called, it might be called Fraser Point Anchorage or something. Fraser Beach Anchorage, but it's not advised for overnight stay. It's like not protected from the westerlies at all. We're gonna cruise over and see what all this is about. Seen some cactus, tons of like island fox trails and stuff. It's so lovely here. There's no power lines, there are no roads, there are no cars, there's no signs of humans, and it's truly beautiful. I know I need to learn some more adjectives for that word, that feeling, but it's really, it doesn't look like I'm in California near to my home. It's impossible for me to describe. So let's go over and check out what's on the shore over here. This area is kind of crazy. Looks like where dragons live. Heading back to the boat. Walked out, checked out the sea cliffs, and got some rare cell phone service out there, so sent some messages. Let everybody know I'm okay. Oh, look at this. Sea urchin shell. Obviously a bird or a fox had that for dinner. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, sent some messages home. Let everybody know I'm doing okay. I'm gonna round the point tomorrow, head to Ladies Harbor. Just checked the wind forecast when I had service up there. Nothing, man. You got like 5 knots at best, so that's a drag. Which also means I'm gonna run out of fuel. So I'm probably gonna have to head to Oxnard on my way home, refuel, and then go home from there. But it's no big deal. Ain't no thing. You just gotta go with the flow. My boat looks beautiful in this Anchorage. Looks so pretty. No one around, just her. Check it out. She's a wobbling away. This looks like the land that time forgot. Definitely coming back ashore around sunset. Bring my drone, try to get some footage, and maybe do a time lapse or two. Just hang out. It's the first time I've been on land for days, which isn't a bad thing. So, all right, I'm gonna pay attention so I don't fall down this hill. Doing some drone flights and a time lapse of the sunset. Hopefully stuff comes out good. Sun's ducking behind Santa Rosa Island right now. I would show you, but it would blow out. It's crazy. I can see a line of like 15 fishing boats all in a row out off the end of Santa Rosa. It's wild. But I got it all to myself still. Beautiful. Having a lot of fun. This is definitely my favorite Anchorage so far, Forney Cove, and yeah, looking forward to moving on tomorrow and exploring some more. One final shot of my open CPN anchor alarm. It's cool to see where the boat's wobbled about. Getting everything in order to head out. This footage wasn't included in the original episode, so let me tell you a little bit about what's happening here. The original running rigging on Alberg 30s in the 1960s was a combination of wire and rope halyards. At Morse Point, I'd gotten tired of hearing the original spin halyard wire cable rattling against either the rigging itself or the mast, depending on where I had it. It seemed like no matter how tight I got it, it was always clanking, so I had the brilliant idea of just cutting it down. That would eliminate all my problems. Then move forward to a night at Forney Cove, the most protected anchorage I'd been in. I decided to be extremely luxurious and sleep in the V-berth for the first time on the entire trip. I happily climbed in, turned out the lights, laid down to sleep, and I hear a clank, clank, clank. And unfortunately, I instantly knew what the sound was from. It was the loose block at the masthead that used to be held still by the less noisy spin halyard that I'd cut down the day before. So sadly, I retreated to the main cabin where you couldn't hear it as much and slept like I had every other night. The next morning, under anchor, I decided it was time to climb the mast and retrieve the noisy block so that I could spend nights in the V-berth if I chose to. Now, I have on board a very sketchy rope mast climber that I made. And it does the job. If you're alone and you have to go up top, you can do it. It's just incredibly sketchy. Basically, you secure it to the deck, you hoist it with one of the halyards, and you crank it as tight as you can so that it makes it as stable as possible. But all the loops are also rope, so it's very hard to climb even at the dock. And this was the first time I'd ever attempted it at anchor. And as you'll see from the footage, it did not go great. Being the fact that I was solo meant that I had zero safety between the deck and the spreaders. Once I got to the spreaders, I did have a line around my waist that I clipped off, so if I fell from the top, I would only fall to the spreaders. But the whole thing was just super sketchy. And in the end, it didn't work out anyway because I couldn't make it all the way to the top because the motion at the masthead was so great from the swells and just from my weight being up top. So I had to live with my mistake for the rest of the trip. Yeah, way too sketchy. So I'll have to deal with the noise, which is unfortunate. Alright, time to pack it up and head on. And we are sailing. I could not be happier right now. Plenty of wind. I motored out of the cove. Got the head sail up. There's a pretty big swell, but which is a testament to how protected Forney's Cove is. Man, I am stoked. I'm hoping to sail all the way to the next Anchorage. I have plenty of time to get there. It's only like, I don't know, 6 nautical miles or something, maybe 7. So this is why I'm here, right here. This is it. I'm still sailing. However, in the wrong direction, kinda. I'm just gonna sail out till I get this west point on my beam and go a little past that and see if I can go wing and wing. There's very little wind out here. There was definitely more wind in the channel, which makes sense. So it was a little deceiving. But I'll take what I can get. I got plenty of time. So this west point, like, mountain is crazy. It's so beautiful. I want to show you guys. Hopefully it's not too shadowed, but yeah, I'm just gonna gotta round those, give a wide berth to all those rocks, and slowly sail to my next anchorage. It's pretty warm out, not much wind. I'm sailing wing and wing down the north side of Santa Cruz Island. It took a minute to get it to work. I wanted to pull out my headsail, but the pole was hitting the shrouds, and you know, it freaked me out. Wasn't gonna do that. So maybe it's just because the sail's too big. But kind of finding the sweet spot just past 90. I thought I was just kind of sitting still, and then I checked my speed, and I'm doing like 3.5, which is what I would be doing with my engine anyway, because I've been running it kind of soft. So hey, I'm making it at the same time and letting my engine have a break, and I'm not having to listen to it. I'm sailing. It's crazy here. That's West Point. Really cool formation. I'm heading for Profile Point. Just past that, that's where Painted Cave is. I'm sad I don't get to visit that. I guess you need to kind of lay off and go in with the dinghy, and I'm by myself, so that's not an option. So now I'm heading to Cueva, where is it? Cueva Valdez, Anchorage, which is just a little bit past Painted Cave and Profile Point and all that. It's supposed to be real cool. It's supposed to have its own little caves and stuff. So it's a beautiful day. I'm finally sailing. It's like 12:30 right now. I think around 1 or 2. The winds might pick up a little. I know they're not forecasted for much, but even a little more, I'd be stoked. Just enough so I can make myself a peanut butter sandwich. The vessel would stay on the wind. That would make me happy. So I'll show you guys what I'm looking at ahead of here, and my ever finicky sails. Really pretty all the way. I'm pretty sure that long sloping point is Profile Point, which is on the chart right there. It's gonna be blown out because of the sun probably, but you get the idea. There's the mainland. There's these crab pots. Man, I hate those things. I don't know if they're lobster pots or what, but. So yeah, good day so far. This would be great if I could sail all the way to this anchorage and then sail the next anchorage tomorrow. I'd be so stoked. And I knew that the winds would be better on this side of the island. So that's the update. So I'm slowly creeping up on the anchorage. Sailing wing and wing down the north side of the island. There's like, I don't know if you can tell because of the light, but there's like a mound coming out. Just before that should be Hazard's Anchorage. I should be able to see a sandy beach, and around that corner should be the anchorage I'm looking for. Approaching the anchorage, there's something like shooting little spouts of water. It looks like the way a whale does. Maybe it's just the way the light is. I don't know what it is. It looks too small to be a whale, but who knows? Maybe we'll find out. It's real strange. Gonna cruise up in here, Get in 20 foot of water and drop the hook. I made it in. Cueva Valdez. I think that's how you say it. There's sea caves everywhere. It's crazy. Also, I have a stowaway. I'll show you guys. Stowaway crab. Same spot that was a crab before. Maybe it's the same dude. That's a long trip. So yeah. This place is cool. I don't know if it might be a little bumpy tonight. The swell, it's not very protected from the swell, but I can put out the flopper stopper if it's uncomfortable. But yeah, let me show you guys what these sea caves look like. I'm gonna go check it out in the dinghy in a little bit. So cool. Little beach. Here's a crazy sea cave. Beautiful valley. And there you have it. I think I'm gonna get the dinghy in the water and explore rather sooner rather than later, because it's gonna get real dark on this side pretty quick, I think. But perfect day. I sailed the entire way to my anchorage. I just motored out of Forney Cove, and literally as soon as I got like just outside the mouth of the entrance, I hoisted the headsail and sailed the entire time. There was a while, probably half an hour, where it was like the wind was completely like non-existent, and I was trying to go wing and I couldn't get it to stick, couldn't find the track, and I just stuck with it and battered through the main, slapping around and making me insane. But finally, you know, I had a preventer on, and I finally found the sweet spot, and the wind may have freshened a bit, but it never got over 5 knots, I'm sure. But I did, like, you know, 2.8, 3 knots, and then it would accelerate to like 3.5 with the swells. So I made it here in like just over 3 hours, which is about how fast I would have made it if I'd have been motoring. So here we are, another Anchorage. Very excited to check it out. So last night was pretty rough. The swells were so big, the boat was rocking extremely. which wasn't too bad. I actually just moved my bedding to the cabin floor so I could pin myself between the settees. Not a problem. I went to sleep. Had I dropped like a stern anchor as well, like is suggested in a lot of anchorages here, it wouldn't have been a problem, I don't think. There's a little fishing boat that came up right after sunset and dropped their hook not far from me. They have a bunch of lobster pots in the back. I looked at them, you know, and they're not a sailboat, so they're sitting there happy as can be. The problem was at like 12:30 at night, the anchor alarm goes off. And no sound has ever pulled me out of a deeper sleep, I tell you, instantly. I got up, I looked at it. It wasn't much. And the worst part of the like sort of swell and stuff was already done. It wasn't rolling that bad when it went off. And I was like, well, that's strange. And I looked at it on the computer, I looked at it. There was a little bump where you could see it was like outside of the ring before. Now in open CPN, which I'll show you in a second, it makes you set it up in meters, which I don't know very well. So I was like, well, maybe I did the math wrong on my radius. Or maybe I was like lackadaisical about what number I put in. So I double checked the numbers. It all seemed within range. And you could see there was a little bump outside the ring. Which I was like, well, that's strange. I got up, went outside, looked. It looked fine. It didn't look like it was pulling taut or anything. So I was like, well, you know, I'll just reset the alarm and see what happens. I reset it. 10 minutes later, it went off again. So I was like, okay, I got to do something. So I got up. I let out like another like 40 feet of road so that all my chain was on the floor, the sea floor. And now I'm in like 29, 30 feet of water. It's the tide's up. And I mean, I was in 29, 30 feet of water before I let out the extra road. And then I let out 40 feet and I, you know, start the engine to set the hook just to make sure it's set. And had trouble starting the engine. It would start, but it didn't want to start. And yeah, it was a little sad. And finally got it started, running, reversed, reset the hook, checked it. It was super taut. Like, you know, all seems fine. And it turned out fine. The alarm didn't go off again. I'll show you now what it looks like on open CPN. So you can see like this is my original pattern. This is the little bump I was talking about. Right, it said I drug. And then when I reset, this is chaos when I reset it. And then after resetting it, I stayed right in this spot. So, obviously there was something to be said about it. So, that was my night. I haven't even had coffee yet. Just wanted to film this for you guys so that you could get a feel for, you know, what it felt like this morning. The sun's coming up right now. The sunrise is kind of muted, but so now I have to determine if I'm going to go back ashore. Probably not. I ended up pulling the dinghy up last night because it was banging on the boat. I'll probably just move on to Pelicans as soon as the wind picks up. And it looks like it should be more protected than this one. But I still love this anchor. It's really cool. And if I had a stern line out, which I'll do next time I do any of these islands, I'll drop a stern anchor on every spot. Alright, on with the day. Oh man, what a lifesaver. Chris and Jerome of Miss May, which my grandma's name was Eva May. Look at that, they hooked us up. He said there should be about 2 quarts in here. So stoked, what a relief. Huge thanks, can't thank those guys enough. They're picking up lobster, dropping lobster pots. I'm not gonna curse lobster pot minefields nearly as much now. But man, oh man, huge stress relief off. Nice dudes, wouldn't take any money at all, you know. I rode up and they're like, another day in paradise. Super cool guys out of Santa Barbara. Chris, Captain Chris, deckhand Jermone, Miss May. So the crew of Miss May, lifesavers, thank you so much. Cueva, Valdez, Anchorage, to our stern. Boy, I should have brought cans of spinach. Hauling up that anchor by hand is a workout. Now I'm pointing east, heading to Pelican Bay. Got some sea life off the port side right now. Not sure what it is. Whoa, it's a seal. He's doing acrobatics. A small boat came up as I was getting ready to depart, and got a nice looking little boat. He popped his paddleboard out, went ashore, checking out the sea caves. It's a good day for it. I got sea life. Oh, there's some dolphins over there. So everybody's out checking it out. Now on to our next anchorage. There's a lot of fog that way. I'm sure hoping that it's burning off with the day and not coming in. That's gonna be a bummer if it is. I'm getting ready to go wing and wing again. Just going offshore a little bit so I can point. I checked the wind already. It's gonna be about 90, and I need to get a little further out to round this point without having to try to jibe. Yeah, there's enough wind to sail. I rigged up my Jinnaker, which it's labeled as a reacher. It's like a 155, but it's made of like almost like spinnaker material. So hopefully that'll take better advantage of the light winds than my big sail did yesterday. That's Ladies and Little Ladies. Pretty cool little anchorage I'd like to check out sometime. I was trying to sell wing and wing. There's a huge fog bank creeping up on me, which is gonna be a bummer, so I'm dropping my headsail. I brought my mainsail in. Glad this is gonna be a short sail. I sailed in really crazy fog when I first learned to sail in Scotland. It was like 10 hours of pea soup fog, so here she comes. I'm gonna keep a compass course of 90. That'll keep me well off land. My actual course should be like 107 true, but I want to stay well off land, and then when I get kind of the anchorage on my beam, I will turn and like cruise in real slow. And if it feels too sketch, I'll just go offshore and hang out until this thing burns off. So there you go. Sailing in this area is pretty known for fog, and here she comes pretty quick. Quicker than I'm moving, that's for sure. And it's here. Only thing left to do is hold my compass course. It's moving fast. Maybe it'll push through, but I'm not counting on that. So we'll see. Every day something new. So far it's not too bad. You can still see the sun, which is good. Might get thicker as it comes in. Visibility is about a quarter mile at sea level. So feels like you're in the nothing, outer space. There's a rainbow, sort of moonbow. Well, that passed quickly. I can't tell if that's like leftover or another fog bank, but I'm motoring 2,000 RPMs, doing about 4 knots. I should be there in half an hour. Hopefully if it is another one, I can get in and drop the hook before that one gets here. But yeah, it wasn't bad. The visibility wasn't too bad. You could see the sun almost the whole time. So I got lucky. We'll see. I hope that one just came through that valley and is heading to the mainland, but time will tell. Now I gotta point in. I came way offshore because I was nervous. Point in a bit and try to get into this anchorage. So, approaching Pelican Bay, which is between those two land masses. Pelican Bay. There we go. Hook is set. Pelican Bay. It's like crazy cliffs all around this. I'm a little freaked. We'll see if I swing that way how close I get to that, but can always bring it in if I get nervous. I'll just keep an eye on it for the first couple hours. But yeah, this should keep us protected from that swell. Should be a comfortable night. One of my friends on Instagram suggested here instead of Prisoners, because Prisoners was so bumpy. But now I got to get to bringing the main down and getting everything, get the anchor alarm set so I can watch what's happening with that, and check out this anchorage. There's another like fog bank in the distance that's cruising in that freaked me out, so I ramped it up and got in quicker. Okay, time to put the boat to bed. Pretty warm out, but this is still going to be super freezing. Got to go for a dip. There's no one around. And that was a no. This is the landing area at Pelican Bay. It's actually just around the corner from the bay itself where the boat's anchored. See if I can get up this hill, see what it's all about. Pretty little valley. Tons of caves everywhere. Lots of exploring possibilities. You know what's funny is on the boat, I feel like I'm right on top of these cliffs and these cliffs, and they're so far away. It's which is good. I'd rather have that sort of misconception than the other way. But there she sits at bay, anchored out, looking beautiful. Mainland California over there. Look at that water, man. This place would be incredible for diving. Little sign about the island fox, which I hope I see some of. Whoa, I just found this crazy troll cave. We're gonna check it out right now. It's right behind me, but it's like pretty crazy looking. Try to not get killed by these boulders. I guess it would have been a good time to find out if this island has snakes or not. Wow. Oh, here's part of an old shipwreck. Is that engine block? Man, those things must last a long time. Second one we've seen. There's the sea. Easy little trail to hike up to the ledge to see where the boats are anchored. I think, or I guess there used to be some kind of resort here. I can't remember the time period, 30s maybe, or maybe later, I'm not sure. But yeah, so there's like steps and stuff at that landing where I was taking video and photos of the boat. This little rocky shore, we'll see how it is getting out of here. Wasn't too bad landing, but it might be another story getting out. What a treat, an island fox cruising up. Oh my God, he's so cute, so small. I'm so glad I finally get to see one. There he is, making his way. So we have some dolphins passing by and a humpback whale just between us and the mainland. There's the dolphins over there, lazily. See if we can see the humpback surface again. There he is, blew his spout, hump. Just making his way, enjoying his morning. Boy, what a magical place. There he is. And there's the tail. He went down. What a treat. And here's our dolphins. Pretty much see dolphins every morning. Boy, they're lazy, huh? The sun's lighting up the cliffs this morning. There was a seal. There was a seal barking in a cave yesterday, and it sounded like someone blowing their horn. It was so, I came out here because I thought someone had their horn on. Here's a cool little explorer boat that showed up last night. They got kayaks on top, adventuring on the island. Cool little boat though. Just left Pelican Bay, heading to Scorpion. Lovely Anchorage, that place is great. Anchor came up okay. Yesterday when I hauled it up, I was sure it gained weight overnight, but tonight was okay. So let me show you that little landing. So, you can see the bay there. Just to the left of it is the little beach landing where you land your dinghy if you want to go ashore and do that hike. Over there, right where the sun is Prisoners Harbor. There's like a dock and everything over there. And then we're gonna round that point and go to Scorpion. I saw a humpback this morning. I'm hoping to see some more. Maybe see some whales on this side. There's no wind today whatsoever. So just motoring, charging my batteries, enjoying being on the water. And should make quick work getting to this Anchorage. Completely still and glassy out. It's a nice little motor. I want to show you guys Chinese Harbor, which is right here. It's got a weird haze. I don't know if it's smoke from the fires that's settled in the bay, but it's real weird. Like all along the beach and everything. It's like a strange haze. And that's Cavern Point. I have to round that. Scorpion Anchorage is just on the other side of that. That's Potato Bay Anchorage. Looks really cool. If there wasn't a northwest swell coming, that would be a really cool anchorage. So I try to check that out someday. Island Packers just cruised by. Coming around Cavern Point, you can see Anacapa in the distance. There's some large rocks there. That separates Scorpion anchorage from Little Scorpion Anchorage. There's a seal being silly. Didn't see any whales. I was hoping I would, but still on Leviathan watch. It's been so calm. But nice motor. I'd rather be sitting here doing this than sitting in traffic or be at work, so I'll take it. So yeah, gonna come around this. There's like a cool arch rock I have to come around, and then it says, Fagan's book says, point for the pier, and then anchor right between the pier and the pyramid-shaped rock. So, oh, actually I can see the pyramid-shaped rock right now. So, we're gonna do that, get the hook set, and go explore later this afternoon, and then tomorrow. Not sure what time I'm leaving tomorrow. The forecast for winds keeps changing. It said I had like 5 knots for the better part of the afternoon and early evening earlier, but I just checked now and it says there's like nothing. So I don't know. Probably gonna end up having to motor sail the entire way to Catalina, but it's okay. It's just the winter in California. So here we are again. I'll show you the view again. There's a ton of people on kayaks in Scorpion Anchorage. And I'm kind of allergic to people. So I'm gonna cruise over and look at Little Scorpion and see what that's all about. Fagan says that you need a stern anchor, it's essential, blah blah blah, but I don't want to do that. I mean, I have one, but I don't want to mess with it. So if this is like, if this doesn't seem chill, I'm just gonna go around the corner to Smuggler's Cove, spend the night there, and that gives me a good launch point to Catalina tomorrow anyway. But there's way too many people over there. I mean, and I know that if I'm on anchor there, those island packer boats gonna be going back and forth all day, and it's gonna be not very peaceful. So little change of plans. We're gonna just play it by ear, look at Little Scorpion, see what it's all about. I know there's at least one vessel there because I could see it through the rocks when I was coming up. So we'll see. So I got anchored. There's another boat in here, in the anchorage. I think you can see him there. Had to sound my way around to find a good spot. I didn't want to be on top of him. I settled near these cliffs. It goes real quick. It gets from like 25 to 40 feet here. So yeah, we got the hook set. The water's really clear, crazy clear. So I'm gonna do some snorkeling for sure today, maybe this afternoon. But this anchorage is pretty cool. This is Little Scorpion. I had to not stay at Scorpion. It was too congested with tourists. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the water's so clear you can see the rocks and stuff below. It's crazy. Got anchored, got everything set up. Put my flopper stopper that I borrowed from Neil Fletcher out. Seemed a little rolly when I got here, so I just rather get that over with now. I think I'm gonna go snorkeling, check out these caves while the sun's still on this side of the hill. So yeah, gotta get suited up and get in the water. There's a bunch of kayakers that came by, looked at the caves and stuff, and then went back over. I'm so glad I anchored over here instead of Scorpion. It's like another full boat has come in since then. So back to reality, I guess. So yeah, I gotta get in the water. I'll take my GoPro so you guys can see what's up over there. I just hauled up the anchor and moved to a sweeter spot. When I got here, there was a large sailing vessel anchored in kind of the perfect spot. And Fagan says to anchor as close to the rocks as you can that your draft permits. So I didn't want to be on top of them, so I anchored deeper into the cove, and I realized as the afternoon wind started picking up, they were coming through between these two rocks that separate Little Scorpion from Scorpion. And it was closer to the cliffs than I was really happy with. So I decided, like, this was, before it got dark, I should just move now. I'm glad I did. Now that I'll be blocked by any winds that come up, westerlies, and I have a crazy beautiful view of Anacapa, which looks like it's on another planet. So yeah, just, but man, I tell you, like, hauled up the anchor this morning. I went snorkeling for 45 minutes in super heavy surge, and now I hauled it up again. My arms are beat, feels like Jolo. So now I'm just gonna relax, do a little reading. Tomorrow, about this time, I'll be heading out to the Isthmus. So I got to get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow's gonna be a long day. But snorkeling was pretty crazy. I saw the biggest starfish I've ever seen in my life. He was probably like 12 inches across. I went into some sea caves, which was insane. They were really deep. I didn't go in that far because I was like, it was a little much. Yeah, it was crazy cold though. When I jumped in, my face felt like I was getting frostbite, and I was like, holy crap. But I just stuck it out, and finally I acclimated to it. And I had my scuba wetsuit on. It's like 7 mil, so my body wasn't cold. But so yeah, man, great day so far. I got the, let's see if you can see it, the flopper stopper out. Neil Fletcher lent me. Makes life a lot better. And that's it. That's the day. Little Scorpion, Anchorage. Another one checked off the list. All right. So the winds picked up quite a bit at sunset. For a while, it felt like it was around 10, and then it got stronger, and my anchor alarm went off, and it's like 7 p.m. right now. It went off at like 6 or something, and I was watching it, and I went out and checked on it, and it was pulled pretty taut, and I checked the depth, and I was sitting over 40 feet of water, but the depths change a lot. I know the hook's in around 30 feet. But it was pretty taut. So I went ahead and let out more rode, let it out to 120, and tightened everything down and reset my anchor alarm. And it's funny because like Predict Wind said that there was supposed to be like 2 knots right now of wind across all their metrics. It was like, and then I checked sail flow, and it shows the current reading for Anacapa is like 9 to 10 with gusts of 14, which makes sense. That's what it feels like. I will say I'm so glad that I moved spots, because where it was anchored was right between like the 2 large rocks that separate this anchorage from the next. And there would have been this sort of funnel where the wind is, I'm sure it's tearing through over there, and it would have been a real bummer over there. And trying to pick up and move, and another motorboat came in at like 5 o'clock, and they probably would have got this spot. So I'm so glad I like trusted my intuition on that, and just went ahead and moved. It's always better to make that decision before dark, you know? It's like if you have like a gut feeling about something, it's just do it, you know? Because it's like to do that right now, I'm not sure I could have pulled that. I'm not sure I could pull the anchor up by hand in 14 knot gusts. As it is, it's like just letting out it. My hands are killing me from raising it twice today, so can't wait to get that correct gypsy. But yeah, so that's the update. I'm just I had dinner, peaceful evening, just watching this anchor alarm, make sure everything's chill. I'm glad it's doing it now, not when I'm sleeping. And I'm listening to an audio book on the history of the compass, which is really amazing. I've listened to it a number of times, but it always fascinates me. So that's what's happening on Triteo right now. Lots of wind, of course. You know, I would love to have this wind tomorrow night when I'm sailing to Catalina, but I'm sure it'll be like 1 knot. But it's, you know, it is what it is. It's a Friday, so I wouldn't have left today anyway. But yeah, it would have been nice to have this wind tomorrow night. I'd have been stoked on 14 knot gusts behind me. So that's that. I'm gonna turn in soon. I always force myself to stay awake at least until like 8 or 9 p.m. It's almost like camping. It gets dark and quiet, and you're just like, okay, it's time to go to sleep. Okay, that's what's happening here. Until tomorrow. Fogs are rolling in. Sure glad I'm under anchor and not out there sailing. It's like all around. It'll probably burn off, but I'm not leaving until like 2 p.m. to head to the Isthmus. I checked on my chart plotter and it's only like a mile and a half or something further to go around the tip of Anacapa, which is what I'm gonna do so I can check out the lighthouse and stuff. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys this fog. Anacapa is like disappearing in the distance. And not even, I don't know, 10 minutes ago this was all clear. But that's, I mean, this area is known for that. And it's clear on that side. Give you guys a panorama. Here's the flopper stopper. I gotta buy one of these. This one's Neil Fletcher's. He let me borrow for the trip, and it really made a difference last night, that's for sure. But yeah, you can't even see the mainland now. And Anacapa is completely gone. So, I'm sure it'll burn off before 2. It's pretty warm out already, so. But yeah, it's gonna be, there should be a little bit of wind, hopefully, this evening. Like 5 knots. I'm just gonna put up my my Jenniker and go for it, sail as far as I can. I'm leaving with plenty of time. At like my fastest speed, I would get there at like 8 in the morning or something, which is not gonna happen. So even still, if I get there by noon, I'll be stoked. So that's that. Got to finish all my chores, do the dishes, refuel, get the rest of the jerry cans. I should have enough fuel to get to Catalina, and then I'm gonna refuel there at the Isthmus before heading home on the 1st. But everything's happy on Tritea. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning. So I'm getting all my ducks in a row for departure. I'm gonna leave in like the next 2 hours. Just want to show you guys what I did. Laid out all my stuff for tonight. I learned this the hard way coming here. Got my jacket, my Musto overalls, and snowboarding gloves, beanie, long johns, all that stuff. It's much easier, it turns out, to lay it out before you leave rather than try to find it while you're underway at night. Learn that the tough way. I got my fuel tank topped off. I still have a whole 5-gallon jerry can full of fuel, so I'm fine on fuel. My oil looks good. It's a little dark, but it's full, and I still have half of what the fisherman gave me. Oh, check out these pelicans. Sorry. Yeah, just getting everything tidied up. I'm gonna try to recalibrate my auto tiller in this Anchorage after I haul up, and see if that'll make it work, because I thought before it was like for my prop walk, but then I tried to use it just when I was sailing, and it was like not a lot of wind, so there wasn't much pull on the tiller, and it still went bananas. So I'm gonna try to recalibrate it, and maybe that'll make my life a little easier this evening. So I think everything else is good. There was a whale that surfaced probably 1,000 yards from me. I was out working on deck. I didn't have my camera on me, so I didn't get any footage of it. But the Island Packers boat was like cruising alongside it, but he surfaced right there. It was cool. I think it was a gray whale. So that's that. Getting ready to push off and head for Two Harbors. Kind of my stomping grounds. So here we go. Let's finish getting ready. Okay, so everything's set, ready to haul up the anchor for the last time on Santa Cruz Island. here in Little Scorpion, Anchorage. Heading off to 2 harbors, Catalina Island. It's going to be an overnight passage. It's like 64 nautical miles. I'm going to give you guys a little shot of what it looks like to haul up this anchor set up by hand. It's a good time. It's a good time. Generally, I'm pretty close to the rocks, so generally I'll haul it up till I can see the hook about, 10 feet down, 20 feet down, and then I'll motor out into a deeper water away from the rocks and stuff. Probably don't need to, but it makes me feel better. My 60-foot mark. Slow and steady. I'm going to motor forward a little bit, give myself some advantage. Helps me so I'm not pulling the boat through the water so much. Well, it was dug in. I'm gonna buy myself that gypsy for Christmas. I can see the hook now. There's my 20-foot mark. The other mark must have been my 40. There you have it. Let's go on. I'll come secure the dinghy down later. So, sailing off. Motoring off, actually. There's a little bit of wind. Once I get out past the island, I'll try to go wing and wing. Looks like I'm coming into fog. I thought it was just the marine layer, but now that I've left the anchorage, it's getting dark. It's just not a big deal, but there's like a fishing boat stopped up here, so maybe we'll see a whale. But I'm gonna cruise down. I mean, if the fog's real thick, I'm not even gonna go by Anacapa. I'm just gonna cut through Anacapa Passage, or Anacapa Channel, and head straight over, and it looks crazy thick. So, but coming down to I don't remember the name of this. San Pedro Point. There you go. That's where we're heading ultimately. So come around that, head for home, or we'll head for Two Harbors. I tried to recalibrate my tiller pilot, and still doing the same thing. I'm just going to use it as an auto lash. You know, it'll work better than the line I've been using. So. But hopefully I can get that sorted out before my next big trip. And I'll show you guys the darkness we're going into. Caves are pretty though. Man, that came on quick. Here's the point, at least. There's a boat right over there. You can't even see it. So yeah, I'm not gonna go by Anacapa. Just gonna go through the passage. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally sailing. And the wind is in our favor. It's going exactly on the course I need to go. So stoked, so stoked. I mean, I am in the craziest fog ever. I have my nav lights on, and very stoked. Just a slow sail, yeah. And the wind's supposed to hold up until like midnight, and then I can motor the rest of the way. So very, very, very happy. Passing Anacapa, looks like the island where King Kong lives in the fog. Happily sailing. great night passage last night. I got to sail until like 7 p.m. or something, and then I turned the motor on, and everything's good. And after some messing with it, I got the auto tiller to work, which was a dream. It made last night so nice. Right now I'm looking at an insane sunrise. Catalina, I'm at Catalina. I should be pulling into 2 harbors in the next like 20 minutes. So I'm just gonna pick up a mooring, unless it's New Year's Eve, so if they're sold out, I'll just drop the hook. But it's absurdly deep over here, but I have the experience now, so not worried about that. So here we are, beautiful New Year's Eve, perfect way to finish out the year, like a really important year for me. Finally got my boat, and managed to have this incredible adventure the last week of the year. It really closed it out, so I'm very happy. So I'll bring you guys some fun footage of Catalina ashore at 2 harbors, since last time we didn't really shoot any video ashore and stuff. So yeah, gonna have fun New Year's Eve, and head home New Year's Day tomorrow. Should be a quiet, slow sail home with very little wind, but it'll be great. Maytal's coming out this morning on Catalina Express, and then we'll be sailing back with me. Finally got into 2 harbors. I'm on mooring Kilo 4. This place is a ghost town. I've never seen it so empty. I guess that's what happens when you come in December. But I thought on New Year's Eve it might be kind of packed. Lovely morning though. About to go ashore, pay for my mooring, and get a shower, and then some second breakfast. And maybe go for a hike. Be nice. Maytal will be here in like an hour, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun night. Pretty stoked.